So we may still be smack dab in the middle of the early signing period, but we cannot forget about the transfer portal, where the Colorado Buffaloes and Coach Prime and the Oklahoma Sooners have gotten some huge wins. Today, we need to break this down. We need to talk about why each of these respective teams got a major addition out the transfer portal today, and why, if you're a fan, you need to be very excited. Before we can, as always, y'all know the drill. I need to hear from you. Hop down to the comments, give me a Y for yes or an N for no. Do you think the transfer portal is going to provide these teams with great benefit? Let me know what you're thinking. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. Hit that bell notification as I do constant college football content. You don't want to miss any of it. And I want to see how close we can get to 20,000 subscribers before the new year. I know it sounds absurd. Y'all's support has been unbelievable, and I'd love to have you a part of this amazing community. But having said all that, let's jump right into this. And we're going to start with Coach Prime in Colorado getting a huge win out the transfer portal. And one thing we continually talk about whenever we're talking about the Buffaloes, I have no doubt that the skill position players are going to want to flock to Colorado. I'm really interested to see what they do along the trenches. And we've talked about several big wins that Colorado and Coach Prime have gotten in the transfer portal to address the trenches. Savion Washington, Alston, and now doubling down on that defensive front, getting a huge win for Western Michigan defensive end Marshawn Nealon, who stands 6'3", 275 pounds, and Pro Football Focus graded him as a top 20 run stuffer in 2022. And if you're Colorado, that's exactly what you need. Nick Williams in this defensive front is something I'm really going to be watching closely. I'm really intrigued by Nick Williams. Everywhere he's gone, you've heard his name, and I'm super intrigued to see what he's going to be able to do with Colorado. But certainly the wins they're getting to plug into that defensive and offensive front, it's notable. I'm very intrigued to see how this ends up working out, but at the end of the day, if Coach Prime and Colorado can continue stacking these wins for guys that have already made that transition to college football, done so successfully that they were a top 20 run stuffer per Pro Football Focus. That's a huge win for Coach Prime, and I don't think they're done yet. We need to be on the lookout for more wins heading to Colorado and for Coach Prime. But now we need to turn our attention to Norman, where the Oklahoma Sooners got in a big win in their secondary for former Texas Tech safety Reggie Pearson Jr. And the Oklahoma Sooners sit as a top 10 recruiting class in the nation, and I think it's a really intriguing class. Whenever we look at it top to bottom, if you're an Oklahoma fan, you have got to be excited. You have in 2 5-stars. The Peyton Bowen sweepstakes is not done yet. I'm sure we're going to be hearing much more about that later today. But inevitably, if you're Oklahoma, you need to add in depth. You've got a lot of guys that are going to be making a transition, not going to be with you next year, and you need to make sure you have guys in that building that you know can play winning football. Oklahoma knows Reggie Pearson can play winning football, and that's why I think this is such a big addition. I'm super intrigued to see what Brent Venables and the Oklahoma Sooners does with this transfer portal class. We saw him come to Oklahoma a year ago when the Oklahoma Sooners had a lot in flux, and he was able to land both a top 10 recruiting class and a top 10 class in transfer portal acquisitions. Whether he's able to do that or not this year remains to be seen, but his chances look very strong, considering Oklahoma's already a top 10 recruiting class, and wins such as this will absolutely help propel them to a top 10 recruiting class. Can't wait to hear from all of you. Hop down to the comments. We're going to be covering much more news today. Can't wait to see you there. That's it. See ya.